I have this burning sensation all throughout my body. These have to be bullets. And it was awful. I mean, I was coughing up blood. I was thinking of my family. I was saying my prayers. I really thought, this is it. I'm never going to get out of this situation.
A morning shooting in downtown Cincinnati left 4 people dead.
Inside the building, it was a nightmare scenario. A madman opening fire and killing people at random.
The most important thing was, I need to go home. I need to be a mommy. I need to still be a mommy. So September 6, 2018 was, I remember starting out thinking it was a normal, beautiful Thursday.
Whitney left for work just like she normally does. She'd go up to Cincinnati maybe 2 days, 3 days a week. But she left early in the morning around 7:30, kissed the kids, I gave her a hug, and that was it. We just expected to see her later. I think she was actually supposed to be coming back Friday. She was gonna spend the night there.
I listened to a podcast, a banker podcast. I talked to some of my friends at work, and as I made the descent into the city, I needed to switch over to a conference call. So my mind was really distracted by it. I then moved into Fountain Square and really just lost my focus on my surroundings. And as I got to the revolving door, which is the door that I always use to go into corporate headquarters, I noticed just briefly that there was a small little hole and some shattered glass in the revolving door. I thought, well, that's a little weird. And as soon as I pushed on that revolving door with my right arm is when I was hit by the first barrage of bullets.
So we went about our day. I took the kids to school a few minutes later and went for my morning swim, came home and started working on some things that needed to be done around the house.
I collapsed just in the quadrant of that revolving door and started to think through what is happening to me? What is this? And I remember thinking, nobody's close to me, so I could not have been stabbed. I have this burning sensation all throughout my body. These have to be bullets, and if these are bullets, then this has to be a mass shooting. I went immediately to, this has to be a mass shooting because this is what happens in America. Then I immediately went into, oh my goodness, I have to live. I have to survive this situation. And I can remember thinking, okay, well, I'll just get up and run away. But both of my arms had been damaged so badly that I didn't really have the strength to push myself up and run away. And then I looked out onto the square and nobody was there. They weren't there in the first place. I was just too distracted by the conference call to notice. And then my last thought was, well, I need to call 911 so that someone can get here to help me. And when I went to move my left arm, to get back to my phone that I had dropped, that's when another barrage of bullets hit me. And at that point, I just thought, there's nothing else I can do. All I can do is play dead and pray and hope that something changes in my favor so that I can get out of this situation. And it was awful. I mean, I was coughing up blood. I was thinking of my family. I was saying my prayers. I really thought, this is it. I'm never going to get out of this situation. And as soon as I saw an officer in front of me, Officer Al Staples, who I now know really well, I just started shouting at him. I said, I am a mother. I have a 5 and a 7-year-old. I need to be their mother. You have to save me. I need to go home. I need to be a mommy. I need to still be a mommy. They ended up shooting and killing him. And as soon as that happened, they felt safe enough that they could run up and save me and pull me out of the revolving door. And as soon as I was pulled out and kind of laid down on the bench to wait for treatment, I can remember saying, are you sure that I'm safe? Like, are you sure that you have taken care of the threat at this point? And they said, yes, you're safe. No one else can hurt you. And that was really the first moment that the pain started to seep in, because before that moment, I was just so focused on identifying my situation, trying to get out, and getting back home to my family.
I was actually up on a ladder replacing a electrical fuse, and my phone rings. I went ahead and answered it on speakerphone, and all of a sudden I'm hit with just this cacophony of sirens. So a man who's, kind of out of breath says, "This is Cincinnati police officer Al Staples. I need to speak with Mr. Austin." And I was like, oh no, I just thought she was dead, just right there. I don't know, you aren't supposed to be thinking about the worst thing scenario, but it was just such a surreal situation. It was just so fast. He says, so your wife's been shot multiple times in the chest, and I'm thinking, so I lose it. I lost it, and I'm, is she conscious? Is she breathing? Is she alive? Like, what's going on? I mean, what has happened? Like, who would do this? I just don't get it. And so Whitney hears me, and I can hear her say, let me talk to him.
Well, I could hear Waller in a state of despair, what has happened to my wife. And as soon as I got a chance, they gave me the phone, and I said, I've been shot all over, get up here right now.
So that was it, click. I jumped in my car. I made a Facebook post that everyone, please, if you're reading this, stop what you're doing and pray for my wife. And all I had was the last thing that she said to me was, so I had that hope that she was gonna be okay. Her voice sounded, normal. So I was just, what do you expect? What are you thinking when an officer tells you your wife's been shot multiple times in the chest? And then she says, I've been shot so many times. Like, what does that mean? What is so many times? I just didn't get it. So I'm racing up to Cincinnati. I just want to be with her. I'm 100 miles away. I've got my mom with me. She's checking all the, the news. Nothing's broken yet, and finally, she sees, 2 confirmed dead. And I'm thinking, oh God, please don't be Whitney. It was the first time I'd ever driven past 100 miles an hour in my Tahoe. I was cussing the people in the passing lane, slowing me down from getting to my wife. I'm thinking every second could be her last breath. But we make it I get to Cincinnati in just an hour after the call. There were at least 20 nurses and doctors and residents all over. She was soaked in blood. She was out of it, but I looked at her. She was still gorgeous, and she just said, "Hi, baby."
They looked at me and they said, "You're a miracle. You were shot 12 times, and none of the bullets hit any major organs or arteries." And so, that was the moment. That was the moment that I realized that I received a gift that nobody else gets, and that I needed to pay it forward. I had multiple broken bones in my right arm. I had severed tendon in my left hand. I had nerve damage in my left arm. I had bruised lungs. I mean, the list just goes on. And so it took almost 10 months of therapy Every single day I did therapy, whether it was physical therapy, occupational therapy, psychiatric therapy. It was like a full-time job with all the therapy. On top of that, I had 4 different surgeries over the course of a year and a half. I had to learn how to increase my lung capacity. I mean, it goes on and on and on. While I was physically healing, I had the opportunity to think about gun violence and what causes it and what are the solutions that can help make an impact on it, and why are we in this stalemate where no progress seems to be made, and that's where Whitney Strong came from.
All right, so I have a dream that all of you are educated and you know what to do in these crisis moments, and that we take what we have here tonight and we multiply it by 100. Moving forward, since these kits launch tonight, every kit that we sell, we will also donate a kit through our Save a Life programming.
America has become known for mass shootings and school shootings. And so when I was in my own situation of mass violence, it's immediately what I thought. This is a mass shooting, and how dare I believe that it would never happen to me? I do this because I have to. It doesn't feel like there is any other option. I survived something that nobody else gets to survive, and I have to make a difference.
You know, I got into this work because it was the clearest sign in my entire life that, one, I was going to be grateful for every day. This was a gift that I received. And secondly, that I was going to take this bonus time and pay for this gift.
Much of what's happening right now on the issue of gun violence is people think that it's a lost cause. That is a very fatalistic view of the issue. We can do better.
I never believed that I would be impacted by gun violence. Some people in this world get shot once, and that's enough for them to not survive. But me, 12 times, but I'm okay, right? Like, I'm okay.
What can we do right now to make sure we're reducing violence in the communities that see it at its highest levels? And so we go into communities in Louisville and Cincinnati that have disproportionate impact of homicide, and we teach them evidence-based training for preventing violence.
It was informative and helpful, teaching us how to store a firearm.
Put firearms like in the safety box so kids can't access it to get to it.
And lastly, we'll bring in Stop the Bleed. It's not going to prevent gun violence, but again, it can make the community feel empowered to act if there is an emergency situation.
Inside our kits, we have the supplies that you need. You have our medical gloves. We also have gauze, a tourniquet, which is a very effective tool. It helped save my life.
And you can die in less than 5 minutes, but the average response time for emergency services is 7 minutes. So if we can really empower people in the United States to know what to do, whether it's to apply a tourniquet, make a makeshift tourniquet, apply pressure, we can save lives.
She was meant to survive. She was meant to do this. She's always been my headstrong daughter and the bank executive, and she is very capable, and she will make a difference in this world. So very, very proud of her.
The great thing is more people are joining and helping and championing our cause.
Nobody's okay with the violence that's happening in our Black and brown communities. Nobody's okay with our increased rates of suicide with our youth and with suicide completed by firearm with our veterans and our farmers. There are way too many people operating in silos that say, okay, well, we're just going to do what all the gun owners want, or we're just going to do what all the non-gun owners want, or just pick your political party. We get so distracted on these solutions that don't seem to move that it's really easy to say, this is never going to get any better, when that's not true. We have much to agree upon. Let's move on those things.